Welcome to Amber's Angelic Light and Guidance, and introducing my cat Sophie, who wanted to be part of this video quite clearly. So, what am I here to talk about today? I thought I'd come to you and help you if you're wondering, how do I become more spiritually aware? How do I start to progress myself in this way? And there's kind of lots of different ways of doing this, from reading different books about spirituality, from just taking some time out to meditate, going within yourself, in particular start listening to yourself, start listening to your own intuition and your own inner guidance, trust your own intuition as well. And don't let it confuse you with the ego. So the ego is the part of the brain which kicks in. It is the brain kicks in and tells you that you need to do certain things, otherwise X, Y, Z may happen. And what if you do this? Something may not work because you're not good enough, or I don't know, someone else is better than you, and all of these kind of fear-based what ifs. That's where ego is, and ego can also make us quite well, it is about insecurity, but it also has this habit of kind of being quite bitter and edgy and nasty in some ways, and it's kind of the aim in life is to kind of quieten down our egos as much as we can, for all of us, and live from the heart as much as possible. The ego does protect us as we're growing up, when we're developing, and we can go through stuff during our lives where without the ego protecting us, we could have had quite, really difficult situations to end up in. And it's about saying, well, I'm not going to just get rid of the ego completely, but I'm not going to let it rule me. I'm going to be ruled by my heart. I'm going to live a life of love, of unconditional love, and spread that love everywhere as much as I can, because love is more powerful than any other energy that there is, and the more love that you can give out and give to yourself, the more love you'll receive and draw to you. So really is, it really is, perfect to live in a loving way and to encourage others to do the same. So what else can you do that will help you? And from making these love-based decisions and drawing this positivity to you, you'll start to understand your own feelings and where they come from. So even when something does sneak up on you, which it will do, because no matter how far in advance of the time that you go, and no matter what you're doing, there's always going to be times where things are going to get to you. That's where you're going to actually need to spend a bit more time and work out, well, why is that still there? What is that doing? Why did that make me feel that way? And understanding what are your feelings and what are not your feelings as well. It could be that you're an empath, what we call an empath, and you absorb other people's feelings and other people's negativity and anger, and that can be really hard going, because you might not always understand why you feel really low some days. So learning to listen to your heart and learning to listen to what it's telling you about your own body and how to treat others too. So spiritually, I was already excelling at quite a rate, and I decided that I was being drawn more and more to becoming vegetarian, and I felt that I was just going to make the plunge, which I did. I wanted to be vegan, but I put it off. I put off turning vegan for a while because I thought it was going to be really hard. I was really quite... I had in my mind that I'd spent all these years loving cheese, in particular the French cheese, you know, all the soft runny stuff, and I was like, I don't see myself as being able to live without it. And dairy, and you know, it seemed too hard. I was thinking, no, how can I do that? That's going to be really difficult. And eggs too, because eggs are in so many ingredients for things. And then as time went on and I was finding being vegetarian easy, it became more and more that I was being drawn to being vegan. And as over time being vegetarian, my spiritual progress and what I was getting from my guides and for other people, all of that was really kind of excelling and moving at such a rate. It wasn't, you know, there was kind of that idea that it would help me spiritually to up the ante and go vegan as such, but I just knew it wasn't right to be hurting animals in any way. And not that I was obviously doing it myself by going out there and killing my own dinner, but effectively I was, because I was buying the food, and I was eating it. So there's not that much in between. We have this real, we're brought up with this real disconnect between what we're eating and where it's come from, and that's where this blinkered effect is really, it's really not good. It's not a good way to be bringing up our children as well, because that's, again, it's encouraging us to live within this ego, this fear base, this kind of not very nice place. So I went vegetarian literally only not 2016, 2015, I think it was about March 2015, and by November I was vegan, fully vegan, and I haven't looked back. It was easy. The first weekend I went away, the weekend that I'd become vegan, and I found this amazing vegan market down in Falmouth while I was visiting my daughter at uni, and then we went for lunch, and Pizza Express have this vegan pizza now, so it wasn't even as if I couldn't partake in doing things with my family, and in that meal, and it was just, you know, it just felt like I was being shown straight away I'd done the right thing, and I knew I'd done the right thing. It was all that confirmation, these synchronicities which happen when we're doing the right thing in our life. And I kind of feel like now, I haven't really kind of told loads of people that I'm vegan online until now, and it is becoming more and more evident to me that I needed to get the message out there, because people do want to know how they can progress spiritually and move on, and they do want to know how to open their third eye, and to become mediums and so on. And part of that is by recognising that we're all linked, this huge energy, the universe, we're all linked together, we are all part of each other, and by behaving badly to one another and to the animals, we're behaving badly to ourselves, and the whole time we're doing that, we're in this self-destruct. So we need to love ourselves and love each other and love all the animals, all the creatures, and love this beautiful earth that we live on, love this universe we live in, and love everything that there is around us, and let go of the negativity, let go of those negative thoughts, the negative belief patterns, and start living a positive, love-filled life. Why is being vegan so important to me? Not just because I love animals, not just because I want to break down this industry that harms these beautiful creatures and the environment. It is about being the person that you were born to be. It's about living your life purpose. And I believe that all of our life purposes are, at the very base, to love. That is the base of it. And then everything else will flow from there. So, also, I've been very much guided by the angels and the elementals, the fairies, to share this message. They are very much wanting us to start putting this love out there and to start making these changes. How can we not be vegan should be the question, rather than how can we be vegan. How can we not want to buy into this peaceful, loving, kind, caring way of living? I haven't watched the films. I haven't watched Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives. I haven't watched all the Earthlings videos. I don't need to. I only need to look in the eyes of an animal and know that I can't hurt them. It makes me feel really, really upset, and as an empath, because I feel their feelings, I feel the pain. That's why I don't want to be part of that anymore. And that's why I urge others to not be part of it anymore too. This isn't about forcing you to be vegan, you have the choice. But what I'd like you to do is to educate yourself about it. Educate yourself about where meat comes from, how it actually gets onto the plate, how it actually gets from the field, from wherever, even if it's blessed enough to be on a field, and actually how it's killed, the physical processes. If it's not enough to just know that there's that sadness, then watch those documentaries, see the pictures, look at it straight in the eye, and then if you still feel like you want to eat meat, eggs and dairy, then do it. I can't personally relate to how you could want to do that, but I'm not here to judge you. I'm here just to spread this message and to send love and light into your heart, and hope that that healing that I'm sending is enough to open it up enough for you then to feel these changes that need to be made. So other than those films that I've mentioned, there's a new one out called Swine as well, just about how all of the antibiotics and the chemicals in the meat are really hurting people as well, hurting the human race. but also there are some amazing people that share really inspiring videos on YouTube. So I'll give out a shout out to Vegan Geezer and to Hench Herbivore, and there are some amazing fully raw vegans out there on YouTube as well. And I would just say, watch some of these videos, listen to some other people talking, hear their message. Being vegan doesn't mean to say that you are going to be weak. Completely the opposite. You're going to be very strong, very, very healthy, very, very everything that you need can be found from plants, from fruit and vegetables, and you'll start loving food so much more. And there's just so much that I could say. I could just go on for hours and hours. So my laptop ran out of charge, as I was just saying about how I could go on for hours and hours, but obviously only if there is enough battery in my laptop. So perfect that again I'm joined by Sophie, my baby. She's just gorgeous. Look at her, just posing in the background. So absolutely perfect that she's with me for this video today. I did start again just recapping and putting my my thoughts and my guidance out there, and something kind of happened which I thought I should share with you as well, actually, because this is kind of what happens with both spiritual work and veganism. I was laughed at by my family because they don't have it in themselves to understand or to try to understand, and instead it's easier to make fun of me. So because I talk about being connected with the angels and the fairies, and that that I'm guided that we all need to not eat meat and dairy and eggs, for some reason they feel the need to mock me, and that's what will no doubt happen to other people trying to spread this message. And perhaps that's something that stopped me from putting this message out before, knowing that there may be these kinds of reactions. Knowing that I'm not skinny as well, you know, that I have still got some weight to lose. I have lost a significant amount of weight from my heaviest, but I stopped dieting, and since I stopped dieting several years ago, I've lost 5 stone. So I don't believe in diets at all either. And people try to make fun of those that they don't understand or that they feel a bit uneasy about, because they maybe realise that there's, you know, they're finding a peace within themselves that they've yet to find. But the cards that I chose from the Oracle deck, from the Fairies Oracle deck, for today to help me with this discussion are these beautiful cards: Detoxification and Environmental Awareness. And they are really, really, like, just perfect cards for veganism, because actually when you think about it, like, that's what it's, you know, other than the hurting the animals, and it is hurting the environment, and then also about being kind to yourself and looking after yourself and your health and doing what's right for you. And I am a spiritual healer, and I do readings and everything as well, and I find that healing is on so many different levels. And the messages that I receive sometimes are on so many different levels for people, and I'm always being guided to let them know what it is that they need in their lives, what will help them in their lives at this time. Can you hear the geese? So I'm so easily distracted. Anyway, so it's absolutely, it's just, sorry, I'm just distracted because it's just lovely that I'm joined by, like, I've had them overhead already in the garden, and then again now, and I've got the cat with me, and it's just lovely. So healing on different levels, and learning to be the best person that you can be, the best version of yourself, and learning what it is that you are here to do. All of that comes from within. But to find it, sometimes we need to make some changes for our good and the good of all. And sometimes we need a bit of help. And that's kind of where my role comes in sometimes for people as well. And that's why I'm doing videos, because it's not always about having people coming through the door paying money. Obviously I do want to do my spiritual work full time eventually, but first and foremost is about getting these messages out there and getting people to look after themselves properly, and to look after this beautiful earth that we live on, and to look after each other, and to look after the animals, and just start pouring that love everywhere. Because the more of us that can do that, just how beautiful will it be for our generations to come, to know that they will be walking into this beautiful, beautiful place where we've set the groundwork, we've laid the foundations. And, you know, it's not all as far away as we think. And by living in this way and encouraging our children to be more spiritual, to be spiritually aware, and to be aware of where food comes from, and that we don't need to eat animals and animal produce, and we don't need to condone animal testing. All of these things are massive, and they're just going to make such a difference. And I just wanted to briefly touch upon as well the fact that when people hear vegan, they immediately think of what you eat or don't eat. And, you know, I thought it was going to be hard from that point of view, and it wasn't. What was not hard but more complicated was finding the other products that hide the fact that they use animal produce or they test on animals still. And a lot of the beauty products still are tested on animals. The ingredients that are contained within them are still tested on animals. The ingredients are perhaps supplied by somebody that tests on animals, but because that company doesn't test on animals directly, they get away with saying not tested on animals. Even the bunny mark has a few discrepancies in my books, because I've been given what I feel to be reliable information that it doesn't always mean they've not been tested on animals down the chain somewhere, or there's no animal produce in there whatsoever. So it is huge. The whole thing is huge. When you start really opening your eyes to what is going on, there's just so much more there. So I just ask that you educate yourself, and And perhaps like me, you don't even need to see these videos to know that this isn't right for you anymore, that you can't be part of that you can't be part of animal cruelty, and that you can't be part of anything that hurts the environment anymore. Or perhaps you do need to see the videos for your own avoidance of self-doubt and so on, to educate yourself so that you know what it is that is really going on out there, and to understand better. And some people say that that is the moment for them when they know they can't carry on being part of all of this negative energy that is part of the meat and dairy industry. I hope I've given you something to think about and some ideas of, as well, if you are wanting to become more spiritual, this is one way of becoming more spiritual. It's not necessarily the most publicised and popular way that people will make themselves get more subscribers and likes and shares, because not everyone wants to hear this. But I've realised that it's not about getting the most likes and shares necessarily. It's about getting this message out there, and knowing that I'm being completely honest with you and myself, and that's what's really important. We all have off days where we're not the best person that we could be, because, you know, things happen and the ego will sneak in there. But overall, trying to be a better person, how could you not want to try and be a better person? Of course you want to be a better person, we all do. So feel free to ask me any questions that you've got, and let me know what you think of this video. Let me know, yeah, anything really, any questions, any thoughts, any feedback, all welcomed, all really, really valued. And I hope you do subscribe and like and share, and I will be making more videos about how to you know, not just be vegan but be spiritual, how to be true to yourself, and just general whatever I'm guided, as always, to share with you. So sending you lots of love and light, and just hope you have a lovely evening. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.